Namaste. Welcome to Telugu Prajala Manasakshi Sakshi TV. I am Swarna. Vastu and Grahashastra Shoki Swagatam Suswagatam. Today we are going to discuss about Vastu and Krishna. To discuss that, we are back with our leading astrologer and expert, Dr. Deepika Sanghi Gupta ji. Namaste Deepika ji. How are you?
Namaste Swarna ji. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you, Deepika ji. So, viewers, if you have any questions and would like to consult Deepika ji, you can reach out to Om Holistic Healings at 732-979-2080. Without any further delay, let's start our show. But first of all, I would like to wish you all and Deepika ji happy Janmashtami.
Thank you, Swarna ji. Happy Janmashtami to you too and all our viewers.
Thank you, Deepika ji. So, would you like to give us any spiritual guidance or suggestions or mantra, anything on this auspicious day, Deepika ji?
Yes, surely. See, the birth of Lord Krishna is such an auspicious thing. Lord himself came on the earth to, to kill demons and to spread happiness, to, spread the good deeds among the people. So, first of all, I would say that today, when you chant the mantra Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, it has great importance and relevance. So, one can add the samput. So, it can be like adding Om twice, like adding Om twice and front and back of the mantra. So, it would be like Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om. This mantra is very, very good for depression. This mantra is very good for ladies, especially ladies who have any kind of, PCOS, menstrual problems, very good for them. Good mantra for anxiety and depression. And see, the Lord Krishna, like he was the only Lord who's, things are famous since the childhood. So he was spreading happiness and joy since childhood by his activities. So this mantra will spread happiness and joy inside you. So when one is happy and joyful, then they should also spread happiness and joy, right? Like what goes around comes around. So one should always be, doing good karmas. This is what the God has given. Especially Lord Krishna has given the message in the Gita. And see, nowadays throughout the world, one word which is most famous is karma. And see, the karma word came from the Gita only. Lord Krishna first used this word karma.
Yeah.
Right? And the Gita is totally based, explaining the philosophy, explaining the working of the karma.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? Yeah. So, this is the message that, we all should chant today. And the second thing, see, I receive maximum calls that people are so afraid of God. They usually worship God because, they are afraid of God. That if we will not worship, something bad will happen to us. So stop that thing, stop that practice. From today onwards, we can start a new practice. Like, make some relationship with the God. Like I usually do this. So, make a relationship with the God. Like Lord Krishna, make him your brother, make him your father, make him your friend, whatever you feel like good with him. So tie Rakhi on Krishna's hand. Today is his birthday. Go and wish him. Go to the temple, wish him his birthday. So, just like you wish your brother a birthday, it's up to, see, everybody can have different bhavas, different emotions. Somebody can feel a friend in Krishna. Somebody can feel a lover in Krishna. Somebody can feel a brother in Krishna. Somebody might feel him as a guide. Somebody might take him as a teacher, as a guru. Somebody might take him as a father. So it depends, like whatever bhava one is having. So make that connection with him. Make, not with him, with each and every God. Make that loving connection so that the way you talk, like for me, Krishna is a brother. So like whatever you talk with your brother, that you can talk, that you can share with Lord Krishna. So from, like, if you have one or two brothers, you adding Krishna as the third one, so start saying, I have three brothers now. So that might make a connection.
I really love this way of thinking, Deepika ji. Like you said, we all pray to God. Most of the percentage is depending on, we are afraid, we are scared. What will happen if we don't pray to Him? But like you said, if we really believe Him, if we feel like He's there for us, like you said, like like a friend or a brother, we can definitely feel like God is. We believe we can feel His love and affection also.
Yeah. See, whenever if we, see, everybody goes through up and down in the life, time to time. People say, I'm this, I'm that, I have achieved this, I have achieved that. But, like when the bad time comes, those people only see the downfall in the life, either materially or emotionally. It can be anything. It can be on any either side of the road. But at that time also, they have same mentality, same education, same family, same, everything is same around them, right? But still the time is a big lesson. So like if you share some deep of your emotions with any of the friends or relatives, there are chances that you might get not getting the right advice, or the people can spread that thing in the public, so you at times feel this is happens like 99%, that the people afterwards feel that I told this thing to this friend and it was spreaded among all the friends. I trusted her or him. So, but when you talk to the God, then there is no point that you will be getting a wrong advice. No point at all. At one point, you might feel too much pain. At one point, you might feel that it's so tough to walk on this path. But the end of the road will always be beautiful, right? And then there is no chances that, those talk, whatever you have shared with the God, it has become gossip among the friends, or, then there is no chances of loss at any end, right? You will be getting the best and the right advice. So always make that deep connection with the God, make some relation with the God, with each and every God, whatsoever, like one believe, try to make that relation.
Yeah, that's so nice, Deepika ji. After you told me about this, now I can't wait to start our topic, Vastu and Krishna. So without any further delay, Deepika ji, let's jump into our topic, Vastu and Krishna. So Vastu and Krishna. So where are we connecting Krishna and Vastu? Like, how we can place Krishna's idol? Like, which direction should we place him? Like that? Like,
Okay.
that's there.
See, in Vastu, we have many Devi Devtas who rule in the house. So every Devta, there is a lord of each and every Devta in the Vastu also. Like in astrology, we have constellations. So similarly, in the Vastu also, we have the Devi Devtas here too. So the Lord Krishna's right place, if one is the believer of Lord Krishna, then the right place is the eastern side of the northeast. So in the northeast corner of the house, or the northeast place in the house, just look at the eastern side of the northeast. So worship Krishna over there, because that is the zone of that joy, that, the way the Krishna used to behave in his childhood, so all that fun things. So place Krishna's idol or a Laddu Gopal. If you are firm believer of, one is firm believer of Laddu Gopal, then place them in the eastern side of the northeast.
Okay.
Yeah, that is the place of Lord Krishna.
So, Deepika ji, when it comes to Krishna's idol, I've seen so many Krishna's idols with some with flute, some without flute, some with Radha. Like, seen different type of Krishna's idols, or, some Krishna idol, like when he was a kid, he was eating, butter from the pot. Like different type of idols are there. Do you suggest any particular, specific Krishna's idol better for house?
See, first of all, as I have always said in Vastu, we avoid idols. Don't keep the idols. It is better to keep the pictures rather than the idols. And then, as it is said in the Shastras, that the cow is the most auspicious animal. And then one should keep the cow in the house, right? So, but we have to use the common sense with the Shastras. Shastras can never be wrong, never. So, we can keep one Radha Krishna with a cow in and having he's playing his flute in the eastern side of the northeast. That kind of a picture is a very auspicious picture. So that can be kept over there.
Okay. So can they keep Radha Krishna's idol or picture, like you said, no idol? So pictures in the bedroom?
Okay, so in many cases where there has been the extramarital affairs, I have seen usually the Radha Krishna picture in the bedroom of the couple. Okay. See, Krishna was connected to Radhaji, right? But at the same time, he was married to Rukmini, Jamvati, and there were many wives. And then he rescued Again, it is a myth that he married 16,000 girls. No, he did not marry. He actually rescued them, right?
Yeah.
From a demon. So he rescued. Those girls asked him that, Krishna, you have rescued us. And it was Satyu at that time, right? Satyu got Treta Yuga. So girls asked him that, Krishna, where we will go? You have rescued us. So he said, okay, don't worry. You all are my wives now. So you all are under my protection now. So it was nothing that, the Krishna was a like a flirt or a womanizer. No, not at all. Some people say like that, but this is not true. And then he was loving. So he gave them that love, that, okay, because they have already, as we have read in the Ramayana too, that goddess Sita was in the Ravana's palace, and then people said that Lord Rama cannot accept him because she has gone to other men's house. So similarly, because those girls were living with the demon for a long time, and Krishna rescued, so he said, okay, I'll marry you. Nobody will marry you now, I will marry you. So that's why he was having those 16,000 wives beside Rukmaniji and all other wives. So keeping Lord Krishna's idol or picture in the bedroom has two reasons for a big no. First of all, it creates extramarital, and the second thing is God is nothing to decorate. He is the supreme power, as I've always said. So he has his own place. A bedroom, especially a couple's bedroom, is a bedroom. There are a lot of activities, so you cannot keep God over there. Everything should be done in the Maryada, right? So yeah. According to the Shastras, the Maryada is the most important thing, and that's why the Lord Krishna's idol should not be in the bedroom, and especially in the southwest.
Okay. But Deepika ji, I know you said we should not keep many idols. Even previous episodes you have told us, and even now you told us it's not like God is not for the decoration. But
Yes.
unfortunately, most of the houses, if you see in US, they have statues like small idols as soon as you enter into the house or any, near the window or somewhere. And most of the idols are like either Ganesha or Krishna. That's what
Hmm.
we see. So, like if they are placing it and we can't really take it away right away, right? So, if they're keeping in the house any statue or idol, where should they do that? Like, should they keep it in the living room or near the God only, or where would you suggest us?
See, first of all, at the entrance, as I've always said, God is not a gatekeeper. It is nothing like that. God is not your receptionist. That you entering a hotel and the receptionist is saying, "Hello, how are you?" with a smiling face. No, God is nothing like that. I don't know why. With what mentality people keep them at their door? Like, do they think that God is a gatekeeper or something to welcome? No, it's not that. So first of all, don't keep like this. Second, as I've said, God is nothing to decorate. He's a supreme power. So you cannot keep them in the living room here and there. No, that is also big no. The God's place is only in the temple of the house, the mandir of the house. So always keep them there only, nowhere else. Sometimes people keep Ganeshas or Lord Krishna's idol, a small idol only on the bedside of their children. But see, the God is inside you. If you're not doing the right karmas, if the one is not doing right karmas, or if the one is does not have that good heart, good thinking, and then keeping so many idols, there is no use at all.
Yeah,
The change has to be brought inside. It is nothing outside. Everything is inside.
that's true, Deepika ji.
Right?
Yeah, that's totally true. So, so we will put God in the mandir, right? Like in the house, whoever keeps the small mandir. So you suggest any specific direction for God in the mandir? Like, even the mandir is like a square shape. Do you suggest any one direction, all gods turning little bit? Like, can we put them towards the west or no?
No, see, in the mandir, we cannot see which direction. It should be that the god should be in one straight line and nothing like their pictures pasted above, or, sometimes I've seen below the idols will be there and above the pictures are pasted. So that should be avoided in the temple. Yeah, that should be avoided. Totally avoid them, please. The second thing is never keep the god facing each other. Like what people do, one straight line and then on the sides it's like facing each other.
Yeah.
So avoid that also. That creates the friction in the house. That also brings the difference of opinion among the couple in the house. So yeah. So don't do that, and these two things should be avoided. And otherwise, in a temple, you cannot zone that this is not, this is this. No, no, it's a small thing, and that has not to be done. Yeah.
So, I mean, so you told us the placement of the gods and the mandir. So, what about us? Like, which direction should we face while we are praying?
We can face either north or east when we pray. Both the directions are good.
Okay, good. So, so what should be like, hanging? Like, some pictures or some idols will be hanging on the wall and all. So, can you suggest, Deepika ji, which side of the wall we can hang? Like, like you said, Krishna's pictures and all.
Okay, again, as I said, God is nothing to decorate. We have so many other things to decorate. So we can put those things for the decoration. Don't keep God's, pictures as a wall hangings or something. Yes, like some arts of Lord Krishna, like Madhubani paintings, Tanjore paintings are in too much, like they look good. That one can do, but it's nothing like making the house a emporium or a gallery. Don't make that. Like people, I've seen somebody's house, even on the center table, they have put God's idol. So, see, this is not right. And then energies get disbalanced over there. So, the positive energies get disbalanced. So, that is why, don't keep them like that. Yeah, little bit of one or two paintings of Tanjore or Madhubani is okay.
Okay. So, like now we are talking about the paintings. If we are keeping Krishna's painting, would you suggest people to have Krishna alone with the cow under the tree? Usually, I've seen so many paintings like that, or Radha and Krishna with Gopikas, like, more people in the picture. So, which one do you suggest us?
See, every picture of Krishna has a beauty and a bhava, a emotion attached to it, right? When, he is with goddess Radha, he is doing the dance form with the gopis. So that is again a Shingar ras. When he is, like Krishna used to, he was termed as a Makhan Chor, right? Because he used to steal the Makhan. So it was not. How can a god be a thief? So these are all the bhavas attached to him. So it depends what bhava you get connected to the Lord Krishna. Somebody gets connected when the god is alone, sitting under the tree with the cows. Somebody gets attached when he is with Radha. So, it depends person to person. So the main thing in the spirituality, whenever you do puja, is your bhava, whatever emotions you have inside. That emotion you are connected because you are that kind of energy. So that is why what energy one person is, they should put those pictures only and get connected so that you feel connection. Right? So it depends like what energy we have inside. So we feel connected to that kind of a picture only. And the connection is important. In any way, one should get connected. Like let's say, coming from California to, okay, let me take a very short example. Like coming from Maryland to New Jersey, there can be many routes, right? You can come by train, you can come by car. So it depends what the one person is comfortable in, right? So wherever you're comfortable, put those pictures only, wherever you feel that bhava with the Lord.
Okay. So, Deepika ji, still one more point I want to ask you about Krishna's painting actually. So, do you suggest to have more than one, more than two of Krishna's paintings in the house?
Like for what? Like again, he is nothing to decorate. He is supreme power. So I don't suggest. Like I don't suggest. See, there are so many other things: flower paintings, geometrical paintings, peacock paintings. There are so many things which we can decorate. There are different kind of, like you can see those Rajasthani paintings where the queens are dancing, or there are so many other kinds of paintings. A tree can be there, so we can put all those pictures. Why God?
Yeah. Thank you, Deepika ji. That's true. You are like telling us about the Vastu as well as explaining us why we are doing that. It's not like because someone said so you are following or we have to do. So that is the best part of you, Deepika ji. That's why I like to ask you more questions and find more information because they really make sense. It's not like because Deepika ji told me to do so, I'm doing it. No, you have a logical reason, scientifically proven reasons.
Yeah.
So that's
See,
the
the
reason.
Shastras, the Vastu, astrology, Ayurveda, everything has been in the Shastras. And what the Shastras say is that connect with the God. Today, because see, these Shastras were written in the Satyug. So at that time, connecting with the God was the main priority of the people. Today, the God is like your wish list. Like you go, put your wish list in front of God. If He's completing it, good. If not, then you get annoyed. Anybody gets annoyed, right? So today the God is not only the God, it's more like a secretary. Okay, this is my wish list, come on, complete it. So now we give order to the God. Earlier when these Shastras were written, it was a Satyug, the God used to give the order. Now we are in the Kalyug, right? So the people give order to the God that I want this, I want this, I want this, right? Nobody says that, you think it's good for me, then only give. Otherwise, I don't want. I'll suffer. That's okay. Whether I'm suffering materially, whether I'm suffering emotionally, I would love to suffer if you think it's not good for me. Everybody says, no, 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 I want this, I want this, I want this. So, and I have seen this practice also. Like, let's say I'm going to so and so temple, you going to so and so temple, and I got really my wishes got fulfilled by going to this temple. And if I will share with somebody, then
Yeah.
many people after me will go over there, that there the wishes are fulfilled. So they take God as a shop where you can go and you can do the purchasing whatever you want. So it's nothing like that. So the Shastra say, when I learned Vastu in astrology, my teacher told me that it is your prime duty that whenever you go for the Vastu, try to connect those souls with the God. Try to give them their true path. So whenever you go, try to, balance the energies in the house, that though in their material life, today in Kali Yuga, that is also important, but they get inclined towards spirituality. Also, they find their true path also. So this will be your duty when you go somewhere to do the Vastu. So that is why, I try to give the spiritual answers, what the Shastras say as per best of my knowledge.
Awesome. Thank you, Deepika ji. But Deepika ji, now I want to go little bit into the history, like real our Puranas and all. So I have like few doubts. I should say, like I don't want to say questions because these are my doubts. Whether how you consider it, I don't know. So
Hmm.
my one of the doubt is like I heard somewhere like Radha ji broke Krishna's flute. Why? Like, is this really true? Did it happen?
I don't have any idea of this. I have never heard this. That
Okay.
that Radhaji broke his flute. I have never heard. According to my knowledge, they got separated. Radhaji was elder to Lord Krishna, and they got separated when I think Krishna was just 8 or 9 years old. And after that, they never met each other. And they met just once. I think after this Mahabharat was over, at that time they just met once. After that, they didn't met. And Radhaji was totally in love, and she spiritually led her life in the love of Lord Krishna.
Okay. So, according to Krishna's story, when did Krishna usually used to play flute?
I think in the evenings or more towards the, like Purnamashi, and then they used to do the Ras. I have been to Vrindavan. I have seen those lakes where, the Lord Krishna used to do the Ras with the gopis, and the Pandits over there told me that it was usually in the evenings. And then they have, many festivals in the Vrindavan and Mathura, where there is Jhulan Utsav. There are so many other things, Haryali Teej. At that time also it's considered. At that time, the temple, there is one temple. So usually the idol is inside, and you cannot see clearly the idol, but only on the day of Haryali Teej, they took out the idol and keep in the Brahmastan, the center of the temple, and then everybody can even see the feet of the Lord. So yeah, so I have seen those lakes when you even go to the Giriraj Parvat, which the God has lifted up. So even during that, there is a lake, and it is said that Lord Krishna used to come here to play with the friends, and they used to bath here.
Okay. Deepika ji, generally we say, like, for Shiva temple, people usually go on Mondays. Like, each god they prefer to go on one specific day. Is there any specific day do you suggest for Krishna's temple to visit?
See, Krishna's temple, nothing day, but yes, Lord Vishnu's day is Wednesday.
Okay.
So, and Krishna is the reincarnation of Lord Vishnu only. So, yes, so Wednesday is a good day for that. But otherwise, like Wednesday, then Thursday is also Lord Vishnu's day. It's considered Draspati. So, that is again, the owner is again Lord Vishnu only. So, these 2 days are perfectly fine.
Okay. So, do you say, do you think, like, is there any specific flavors Lord Krishna likes?
Makhan, I would say. He loves that. So Makhan Mishri. So whenever we used to visit Vrindavan and Mathura at that time also, so the priest used to especially give us that bhog which the god has taken in the early morning, like at the Brahma Muhurat, 4 o'clock in the morning. So he used to keep for us that Makhan Mishri. So it said that Lord Krishna is very, very happy if you offer him Makhan and Mishri. And then whatever is offered to Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu. And if that is given as a prasadam, always eat that. Always. That has lots and lots of positivity inside it.
Okay. So Deepika ji, I know you already told us not to keep many idols even before, but just take doubt. Like, some people whoever keeps the idols, for the idols, they have, like, if you're keeping the Krishna's idol, the flute will be like made out of bamboo wood, and the feathers, like the peacock feathers, will be hanging around the, like, idol and all. So do you think, like you already told me one time, like peacock is like a very good peaceful thing in the house to be kept. So bamboo sticks, like the flute and the peacock feathers, will this attract like a very positive energy into the house?
Peacock feathers, definitely, and especially if one is running through the Rahu Mahadasha, they should definitely keep the peacock feathers in the house. They are very, very good. You can keep them in the northeast or southwest. Peacock feathers is a very good remedy of Rahu. If somebody is having the negative dasha of the Rahu and Rahu is creating trouble to them, then definitely they can put the peacock feathers in the house.
Okay, so is there anything they can do to have like a less mental pressure? Like, nowadays everywhere we are seeing, like, everyone is stressed out, everyone is exhausted. So is there anything specific they can do to keep, very calm and nice environment in the house?
Yeah, that's what I'm giving this mantra today. That chant Om 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 Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Om. So this mantra gives a lot of positivity, and this mantra is like a very close mantra to Lord Krishna, and then Krishna is the God who can give you. See, every God has a purpose, right? Like Krishna can give you that happiness, that love in life, that joy in life, and Lord Rama will teach you the Maryada, right? Lord Rama teach you that Naitikta, like what is the what values one should have inside. Then Lord Shiva is actually like a strict teacher. He will take you on the path of spirituality, and then you have to clear one by one each and every class. So every god has their subject. No, there is nothing like that, two gods doing the same class. So it's like you go into the school, one is your science teacher, one is your maths teacher, one is your English teacher, right? So it's something like that. So Lord Krishna is like more of a fun love. So if you want that, then reach Lord Krishna.
Okay. So Deepika ji, peacocks are good. So peacock feathers we can keep. And what about the paintings? Can we keep like more than one or two? Or
Yeah,
we...
yeah.
Okay. So
yeah, anytime. Like peacocks are the best animal, and then peacock's presence also brings a lot of positivity. I know a very reputed, very, very reputed school in India, and the girls' hostel over there has lots of peacock. Like they come and they go. It's nothing like that. They are, yeah, pet over there and they come and they go. And the girls' hostel is running like from past, I think, 50, 55 years or 60 years, and they are doing so good. So peacocks are like wherever the peacocks come naturally, like they are not the pet, but they come. It means the vibrations of that place is very, very good and blessed. Similarly, the cow, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Deepika ji. Thank you, Deepika ji, once again for your time and helping us to understand how Vastu can really help us. So, viewers, if you would like to reach out to Deepika ji for further consultation, you can reach out to Om Holistic Healings at 732-979-2080. Next week, we will be coming back with another interesting topic on Vastu and Graha Shastra. This is Swarna signing off. You're watching Telugu Prajala Manasakshi, Sakshi TV. Namaste.
Namaste.